Please join me in welcoming Gerry Duffy.
I was working for a team once upon a time, and they won a really big game. And such was the impact of their victory, they were brought back to their hometown and a crowd came out to greet them. And the chairman of the team got a microphone and he said, "The future has great things planned for this team." And I was sitting in the audience and I quietly and respectfully in my head completely disagreed with that statement. Because in my experience, in my life, if I've discovered one thing, it's that the future has nothing planned for me. I used to think that the future had me being an incredibly good golfer. I used to think that the future for my business was a growing business because of a growing economy. But I've discovered that's not the way the universe works. What I've discovered is our success in life, our success in business is determined by our standard of personal discipline. And discipline in this context is defined as having a branch of knowledge. I'd like to share with you 3 branches from the discipline tree. The first branch is the discipline to set clear goals. Now that might seem very, very obvious, but I didn't do this for 20 years. I used to set vague, ambiguous goals like, I want to get better at golf. It's like hiring a pilot to fly an airplane and saying to the pilot, take me to America. The pilot needs a lot more information than that. So I'd encourage you, when you're setting goals, set high standard goals. You need to tell the pilot not just go to America, not just the East Coast, not just New York, but pick out a specific airport, a specific runway, a specific terminal, and a specific stand. The better we can set clear, specific goals, the more likely we are to achieve the futures that we desire. There's one more tail end to setting clear goals, and that is, in my opinion, you must tell the pilot when you want to get there. Goals, in my opinion, must have very specific deadlines. The second discipline to a great business, to a higher employee engagement, to growing a business, or in any area of our lives, in my opinion, is to control time. Now that might seem very obvious, but many of us don't do it. In fact, we do the opposite. So what is time? Well, time is very straightforward. That's time. And here's the thing, we all get it. In fact, we get 52 of these every single year. And within these, there's the number 168, which is the number of hours we get to fulfill our potential, to realize what we really want in life. But here's what I've learned is many of us let this control us. So what is controlling time? In my opinion, controlling time is having a plan for this before you go into it. Because it will control you if you don't control it. If you don't have a plan for this does not have a plan for you. We all get 52 of these every year, but we're disciplined to different standards of management. That's the second discipline. So we got the first discipline to set clear goals with deadlines. Second discipline, we must, in my opinion, control time. But they're no good unless you add in the third discipline. The third discipline is a must. You master the third discipline, along with those, I'm very confident that you will achieve whatever it is you want to achieve in your future. In order to demonstrate this, if I had more time, I would invite 5 people up on stage. And I would get you into a circle, and this would be to bring the third discipline to life, but show you how easy it is to be ill-disciplined in the third discipline. So what I would do is I would invite you up on stage, and I would have lots of these objects here, and I would get you into a circle, and I would say, right, we're going to pass around the red marker and the blue marker, and I'm going to put into your left hand, then put into your right hand, then pass it to the next person, left hand, right hand, and we're going to go all the way around in a circle. I would then tell them, at some stage for the first part, I'm going to help, but at some stage I will leave the circle, and I will go over there. And when I leave, I want you to continue to pass them around until I ask you to stop. And I will say, is there any questions? And usually there's no questions. So we start, and I put in the red marker, and then I put in the blue marker, and then I put in the green marker, and I put in a glass, and I put in a book. And I'm still there helping, so when the red marker comes around, I'll pass it on. When the green marker comes around, I'll pass it on. When the blue marker comes around, I'll just hold it here for a second, and I'll put in a pen, and I might put in a wallet. And now we're all the way moving around the circle. And when the red marker comes back around, I'll take that out and I'll put in a plate or a wallet or a stapler. And then I'll walk over there. And when I walk over there, I'll allow them just to pass the things for the next 30, 40 seconds. And then I will say, at some stage, I will say, stop. And then I will ask them a series of questions. And the questions will go along the line of, what are you doing? And they will say to me, we're doing wonderful feedback, we're collaborating, we're teamwork, we're really gelling together. And I say, what else? And they say, well, I'm not sure. And I would say, well, if you were talking to a child, what would you tell the child you were doing? We were passing objects. And I would say, right, passing objects. What objects are you passing? These objects. And what specifically are they? Well, it's a stapler, and it's a wallet, and it's a phone, and it's a book. And then I would ask them this question. Why? And they will always say to me, because you asked us to. And I will say, no, I didn't. And they will look confused. And they will say, what do you mean? And I will say, well, hang on now, what did I specifically ask you to pass? Because I only asked you to pass, actually, 2 things. I only asked you to pass what? Can you remember? And somebody will get it. Somebody will say, oh, there was some markers. And I will say, yes, what colour? And they will say, red. And they will say blue. And I said, yeah, well, who's got them now? And then they start to blame each other because they have a green marker and they have books and wallets and everything, but they don't have these because I have these. You see, the third discipline that, in my opinion, we must master is the discipline to stay focused. You master that, watch what happens. The discipline to stay focused, you see, this represents the really big specific destination that you've decided on for your business or for your life. This represents the things you schedule in this that you're going to do to bring this to life. And that shows you how easy it is to get distracted, because that's all about distraction or losing focus. In the brief time I've left with you, I'd like to share with you a really simple, but I believe an incredibly powerful tip that will help you stay focused if you find yourself sometimes stuck here. So what I do is I call this Check-in Wednesday. Check-in Wednesday. And if we had more time, I'd interact with the audience and I would say, what do you think Check-in Wednesday is about? And you know the answer to the question. Check-in Wednesday is where you reconnect what you said was really important. You reconnect with the goals that you decided in advance, all the scheduled things that you said you were going to do in this week, because you're so aware of the value and importance of mastering and